I'm Kayla McLaughlin from Thomas Jefferson Middle School.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Hi, I'm Austin.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
I'm Caitlin.
And this is Kids in the Kitchen.
And this is our chef, Jim Terry.
Howdy.
Jim, what are we going to cook today?
We are going to cook buffalo meatballs in smoky chipotle sauce.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Kids in the Kitchen!
We're in a Hy-Vee store. Jim, what do we need?
We need over 15, maybe even 20 different ingredients, so we must get ourselves in motion immediately.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Shopping with the Chef.
Going with us today on this shopping trip is Megan Dalsing. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you, Megan. I'm glad to have you guys here at Hy-Vee Foods, and we're going to go shopping with the chef.
Oh, great, Megan and Megan.
Jim. What ingredient are we going to get first?
We're getting produce first: tomatoes, onions, garlic. It's over that way.
Let's go!
Excellent. This is the real stuff. Oh my God, this is it. Okay, we're going for some Chapotle chilies, and this is where you can shock, amaze your friends, and also deal a tongue twister to the Midwestern way of speaking, because in the Midwest we cannot put a T before an L at the end of a word. You'll find that everyone pronounces this Chapotle. The T comes first. It's like etc. It's etc. You got to put the T first. Here we put the T first. Chipotle. Anyway, chipotles are ripe jalapenos that have been dried and then smoked over mesquite, usually. So they have a really remarkable flavor. They're smoking hot. Sometimes if you can't get the nice big chipotles like this, you can find another one, sometimes in Mexican grocery stores, called moritas. They're little. They're about this big, but they are also a ripe, dried, smoked chili that has a lot of heat, but all this wonderful smoky flavor, too. But these are what we're looking for. These really make the sauce fantastic. So, and they're nice and flexible, too. Check that out. So these are from a good packer, and they're relatively fresh.
Megan, what is the nutritional value of Chipotle?
Actually, they add flavor to a dish, but they're also hot, so they actually speed up our metabolism. So it's good if you're trying to watch your weight.
Ooh, it sounds like the hot pepper diet.
Yes, it can rev up your metabolism.
Okay, we're off for some tomatoes, some onions, some garlic. Ready. Not bring this here, pretty good. Garlic always good. Looking for a nice sound ahead. Wonderful. And onions, we're lurking in this vicinity. All right, but now tomatoes, are they nearby?
Tomatoes are still...
Lovely, thank you. Usually, I tend to cleave towards the sweet yellow onions, Spanish onions, those kind of things, but it is traditional to use the really mean, intense white onions in this recipe. So that's what we're doing. It's a nice big nasty one too. It's going to make everybody cry.
You use cleave as a verb? What does that mean?
Well, cleave in our common usage is usually to chop, right, with a cleaver, which you'd think would mean separate. But in the way I was using the word, it struck me as that's something that you subscribe to, something that you adhere to, which seems the opposite of cleave, doesn't it? But there it is.
We learn cooking and we learn English.
It may be closer to Middle English, actually, when the word was more in use. I don't know. Perhaps. So what have we got? We're looking at about... we want to roast these things and actually do a slight charring on the exterior, which really increases the flavor. And unlike the tradition from Europe where you blanch the tomato and take the skin off the outside, we leave the skin on, and heck, we're even going to leave some seeds on the inside, which is very traditional to this dish. Excellent. Good. We're going to head over there because I think that's what we need next. Everything else, otherwise, all produce needs have been filled. Shopping is actually a pretty decent cardiovascular exercise when you take it at a good clip. And also when you don't run into other people. Because we're going to grind it. Oh, I would have been looking for that for a long time. Thank you. And the little tiny baggies like you have there, I will find somewhere nearby. I would also be looking for that for quite a while. Thank you very much. Excellent.
As we're grabbing some peppercorn, this department has grown so much. It's nice because you can get as much or as little as you want, and there's such a variety here. So we have a lot of shoppers that use this area. They can take just a little bit for what they're making.
We've got some black peppercorns, and we are going to take them and go back and cook with them. In a previous show, we talked about the origins of black pepper and where most of it comes from. Down there,
We're looking for time, and it might be misplaced.
Apparently, they're out of time.
I think so.
I found time!
Yay, we all need time.
I didn't know what time.
I'm Sarah. Just a little bit, maybe a couple tablespoons, and we are good to go. And we'll have it for next time.
We found the thyme, but did we find the parsley, sage, and rosemary?
Which was a spell or an incantation to fend off evil sendings, by the way, and that's where that comes from, that refrain, that refrain incantation in that very old song, recapped by a guy named Martin Carthy in the early 1960s who was playing music clubs where Paul Simon happened to hear the song and catapulted to international fame and stardom.
Simon and Garfunkel, my mom loves them.
Good. Right, fantastic, and it's the same package that we got on the other room that comes from those guys. Excellent, it's the same producers. That's beautiful.
Good.
We've got locally raised bison, in fact, which is a fantastic thing to have in the area. Buffaloes are incredible converters of grass into amazing protein, and we're delighted to have this and be able to use this fantastic product here. So we're going to do that. We're going to add that to our mix of stuff. And we need something else. Eggs. We must have our good organic eggs, which are nearby. This New Century Farm is a guy named Dean Dickel. Dean and Mary are very involved in the production of these eggs and getting them to me in my restaurant and to Hy-Vee here in Dubuque.
They actually joined us for the Garden Organic too, so he was part of that.
Excellent. Very good. We need other stuff. We are looking for organic, free-range chicken broth from chickens that had a chance to run around outside and do their thing before being sacrificed to the greater nutrition of the human race. But in the meantime, they had a real life, and they also produce fantastic quality stuff, and that's what we're going to put in there. We need a couple of cups of stock, and we didn't make any of our own. So it's great to make your own if you can, great. If you can't, it's fantastic to have products such as this, which make things terribly convenient and are of extremely high quality. We're going to get, there's a little bit of milk in the recipe for the meatballs themselves, and of course we're going to use the organic milk from Organic Valley, which is a wonderful cooperative-based dairy and organic food distributor.
What I like about my job is that we have hundreds of thousands of items in our store, and we're open 24 hours for your convenience, and we have great products, healthy products in our health market, and I'm here to serve anyone that has any health care problems. So we offer pharmacists, we have registered dietitians, we have experts in their field. So come see us at Hy-Vee Foods.
Cinerato. Okay, we have quite a few ingredients. We have cumin seeds that we're going to toast and grind. They're a small but important part. They really affect the flavor. Also, something we forgot, and I brought with me, was a bay leaf. One little bay leaf is part of this too. And here are fantastic chipotles. There's our thyme that we searched long and hard for, and it was successfully found by an important member of the team. Like peppercorns, we have very good quality sea salt, and treasure from home, bacon fat. Just a little bit. We're not going to use a lot of that. It's not exactly what one would consider a healthy ingredient, but wow, it adds a lot of flavor. And a little bit when you're using otherwise whole grains and a lot of very high quality clean food. And you probably have a can in your freezer, left over from breakfast, where you've got some sausage drippings or some bacon drippings. You can raid that hoard of good taste, and just a couple tablespoons will add flavor like you would not believe to a lot of dishes. Not all the time. Every once in a while, it adds a little bit. So, onward. We got to clean our tomatoes and get them roasting, or we'll never get this thing done. So, tomatoes, commercial tomatoes will almost invariably have a coating, some kind of oily or waxy coating on the outside. We want to get it off because we want to include the skins in this recipe. So let's rinse them under real hot water. Somebody want to take that over and kind of make sure those are nice and cleaned off whilst we continue over here. You can handle the buffalo meat and start making the meatballs. Can we get you in charge of coring and slicing those tomatoes in half and maybe squeezing out a few of the seeds? We want to keep most of the juice and seeds inside, but we want to get them roasted off and in the oven now so that we can get our sauce made. We need a little something to get the cores out of those tomatoes. I'm hoping that these are durable enough to do that. Put these on. They will save you.
Why?
Because these are very dangerous. They're dry, so you think that they're not juicy, so it's not going to be, you're not going to get like, chili juice on your hands, so it won't be a problem. These are so bad that if you touch your face, where you touch your face will burn. And not you won't see smoke, but it'll be extremely uncomfortable. Any mucous membranes that you touch, any sensitive skin areas, your ear, I mean, it's really unpleasant, so don't touch your face. Don't touch anything, yeah. And when you take those gloves off, discard them.
Nurse, we're going in.
So I'm touching them boldly because I can. I'm old and tough. But if you, I actually handed it to you, and we probably, watch out. Because even the stem, wash your hands. Wash your hands with some soap over there just to make sure. But doesn't that smell great?
Oh, it smells great.
Yeah, Smokey. Really hot. So let's cut off the tops, and then we're going to fry them in a little bit of fat. Before you do anything, pardon me, very important, we got to wash them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know where these came from. They could come from anywhere, and even though they're dried, they could have all kinds of sprays on them. These are not certified organic.
Jim, how'd I do?
Excellent, they are cored. Now, if you'll chop them in half this way, we want them to have their, we're going to place them in this pan, skin side up, and then put them under the broiler. So if you have a knife, that's a very stubby knife, but there's another one over here that I think will work for you. Pardon me, beware. And we're looking for something like this.
Jim, how'd I do on the onions?
Perfect. We're going to start getting into production with our sauce. How are we doing here? Oh, the broiler is broiling. That's excellent. Once those are in that pan, you may place them in the lower oven on the top shelf. Okay, what we're going to do here, we're going to take one stem off. Again, you want to have good control. And take off just the top like this. Okay? And then we're going to cut them in half the long way as well. Point down, you got it. Oh, let me show you another trick. This is very important. You got your point down, but you have much more leverage if you're way back here. See how much easier that is? If you're working with a point, you don't have any leverage. Back here, you can just knock it right off. Excellent. Well done.
What's the difference between buffalo meat and beef?
There's a similar profile. There's actually, buffalo meat tends to be leaner, partially because of diet, partially because of genetics. It's been argued that there are more nutrients of a favorable nature in buffalo meat than in your typical beef. This producer emphasizes the fact that the animals aren't shot with hormones or antibiotics, drugs, which are commonly used in agriculture to increase size of animals quickly and put on weight fast. But residual antibiotics and hormones in our foods have been linked by a number of studies to things that are not good for us. So this would be considered a cleaner meat, generally speaking.
Clean meat. I like it.
Okay, we're going to get this bacon. Oh, man. Because we need a little more fat in this. A knife will do it. It's cryovac. It's vacuum sealed. Because all of this is going to be cooked. And these are both essentially meat cutting boards. Pardon me. I'm going to operate slightly out of the... Oh, that'd be bad. Just a touch. Thank goodness no one saw it. Sorry. Too much fun and too little sleep. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop this rather finely to incorporate it into the meat mixture.
Should I use this knife?
Sure. And again, point down. Let's not be brandishing it in the face of our fellow workers.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Right? Do you see what I'm doing? Point down. Using the back part of the knife to cut instead of up here in front where I don't have any leverage. Like so. Oh, look at that. You don't have to go that fast. I recommend you don't go that fast. Could be a problem later. Okay. Have at it. Okay. I'm going to get these into the broiler right now. We want to get them broiling. Otherwise, we're doomed.
I'll just pull it out.
Now, we're already getting some kind of roasty aromas there because I think there was some stuff maybe on the rack from a previous adventure. So let's keep our noses going. Noses save many accidents from happening in the kitchen. Remember when I smelled that rice while we were shooting the opening sequence? We almost smoked it. The rice was almost completely smoked, but it didn't because the nose worked. And thank goodness the air flow in here is amenable to that idea. So, here we go. On to the next thing. That's happening. The onions are happening. We need to get our onions sauteing right now and melting down. This pan should be very useful for that purpose. And let's just so we're on the right track. Oh yeah, okay, now let's cut this in half because we want to get the bulk of the seeds out of here.
Oh, the long way?
Yeah, the long way is good. It's the ribs, the inside ribs of a chili pepper where most of the heat is concentrated. And because the seeds are attached to the ribs, you see how they kind of grow out of the rib section? I don't know if you can see because in a dried chili it's harder to see what's going on. They have a little bit of the pith, P-I-T-H, pith, attached to them, which makes it seem as though the seeds are hot. The seeds actually have the lowest concentration of capsaicin. Capsaicin is the heat-containing substance in chili peppers. They have the least amount of it in the entire chili. But because they're attached to the pith, they have a little bit on there, so they, if you get a few seeds in your mouth from a hot chili, it seems real smoking hot. But we are taking them out. It's an aesthetic choice. And we don't have to we're going to leave some of them in. We're not taking all of them out. And some of them we're going to have a heck of a time getting out, so it's just as well. Okay, we're opening it up. That's outstanding. Now, if I can impose on you, because you are well gloved, to kind of work those out with your fingers. You don't want to be digging away or gouging with the knife. It's a recipe for disaster. Trust me. Oh, there's a nice big tablespoon of this incredibly fragrant. You're going to smell this stuff. There will not be a dry salivary gland in the house, except for those who would be offended. Let's use a little adjunct there. This are the reserved bacon drippings, a treasure. You gotta hang on to that stuff. It's too precious to toss out. Okay, while that's melting, that's good. What do we got going here? Okay, this is excellent. Perfect.
Is this why they call them red hot chili peppers?
They are red and they are hot. You see that? Now you can see how they were ripened. That's the inside of a ripe jalapeno. The jalapenos you see in the grocery store are usually green, right? Not these. We need a flat metal spatula from the cabinet. Perfect. Thank you. Ideally we need a metal one from in back if we've got one. Okay, we've got our half-cooked rice over here. We've just toasted our cumin seeds, which is really critical to develop the kind of flavor that I want to get here. Our chipotles are browning. We want them almost black, but not quite. And oh, that smoke is just really, really irritating and causes your eyes to burn. It's a fantastic feeling. I hope you can all experience it. But they're good, and we're about to pull those out because they're about ready to go into our sauce jar. We're going to buzz everything up into a nice sloppy mass. So that's good. And we're going to reserve that precious fat, too, because that's useful for later. Now, the onions are going to continue to melt. We've got their flame turned off. Right. Now, we toasted our cumin seeds, which already makes it smell fantastic, and now we're going to buzz them up in this little spice grinder. Again, another word of caution. Don't use the coffee grinder in the house, because whoever likes coffee is going to be really bummed out when their coffee ends up tasting like cumin and black pepper. Because, they're unbelievably volatile. These spices, it gets in there, and you cannot get that out of there by wiping or anything like that. Once you get a spice grinder, keep it for spices. Your coffee grinder, keep it for coffee. All right. Now.
That is good.
Yeah, the air is heavy with tropical toasted aromas that you can't get anywhere else. It is a fantastic smell. Did you get a chance to smell this? Can you get it from where you are? I don't know how the air currents are working, but it's night and day from the dried herb, too. And grinding it yourself is also night and day. Buying the ground stuff, it's been ground for a long time, and the volatile oils in the seeds have dissipated. So that incredible intensity, that wonderful perfume is a shade of what it was. So get it whole, toast it, grind it yourself, and you will elevate your flavors like this. Ooh, now you see what's happening? Nice and sloppy. I'm using that word a little too much. We're making a lot of sloppy food around here. Next week, by the way, no sloppy food. We have a really interesting dish planned that also uses no saturated fats of any kind and lots of crisp vital vegetables. So we'll be heading in a different direction next week's show. Now what do we got? Okay, behold. You see how these are starting to give up some juices now? Hear that sizzling? That's good. That means they're getting soft. Oh, yeah. Not long now. Okay, we're going to buzz up that sauce in just a second.
Oh, wait a minute, I want to try.
So the debris off of here, pardon me? Right behind you? Oh. We are going to, everything's going to come together in kind of a rapid fire way here at the end, and we're going to pour the finished sauce over the meatballs.
Spicy thing?
No, this is Mexican oregano. Very different, but interchangeable. Mexican oregano.
What is that like?
It's an herb, and it's really, in a way, it's not like anything else. In a way, you can actually substitute a Mediterranean oregano, but the flavor is very different. And we need about that much. And that's going to go into our sauce. Okay, good.
What do we do with these now?
Right, you got the whole cleaned off?
Yep.
Excellent, you can work in my kitchen.
Are you hiring?
We're always on the lookout for talent.
Oh, we're very talented.
Okay, you can chop these just into a couple of large pieces, and again, control, knife down, couple of quick chops, like so. We're going to be throwing them into the blender. Herbs, spices. Come right into the Well, we don't want to break
I'm
the whole
happy
one.
to say the patient's going to live.
This bowl. And that'll be good. And we can use the whole egg, the white and the yolk, everything goes in. That's good. Okay, here they are. And we might even make it lightly heaping because we can.
What precisely is cumin?
It is the seed of a plant. It's used in a lot of different cuisines, Central American, also Asian, Indian, of course. And I don't know if other parts of the plant are used. That's an excellent question, and I should research it more. Coriander, which we see as cilantro, the green herb that you always find in your salsa at a Mexican restaurant, and the seeds are also used of that plant. That's the spice coriander that's used in curries and other places. But I don't know, apart from the seeds, what of the cumin plant is used. Worthy of looking up. Thank goodness for the internet.
We're gonna Google tonight. Cumin.
What we're going to do, too, with this recipe that is extremely unusual is we're going to put a bay leaf into a recipe and buzz it up and incorporate it. Normally with a bay leaf, you put it into a stock or a soup or something, and then you get it out of there. This goes in, stays in, gets ground up, and becomes part of the thing. So, interesting, different. Okay, our herbs, our mixture. Milch. It's open. Whew. If we squeeze the side of the carton, it's going to be milk all over the place. So we need, approximately, this much.
Why do you call it milch?
You know, I've been listening to a lot of German stuff this week. The old Monster Squad movies with Scary German Guy from the 1980s was on, and then I heard Peter Gabriel's re-recording of his 4th album, completely sung in German, which is fantastic. And then what else? Somebody was playing a Kurt Weill cabaret recording from 1962, so I've had all this German stuff floating around, and so these pronunciations are coming unbidden into my head, and it's probably malaprop, so excuse me.
I have quite a collection of German cabaret recordings at home.
Fantastic. I walked right into that one. It says like 2 slices of bread. So we're going to do, maybe because these are short, because it's an odd-sized loaf. It's okay? It's okay. Excellent. Boy, that would have filled me with horror. Now, we need black peppercorns. And that is here. Excellent. We're grinding up our black peppercorns. We're going to get them in there. We're going to mix up our sauce. The lid went somewhere, and now I cannot find it. The top of this container, that's what I need. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, let's let this sit for a minute. And we're also going to put a lid on it if we can. I don't know if we have a cover that's big enough. Maybe not. No. This one. What luck! That'll hold anyway. That's fine. Lid. Thank you. Grind. Ooh, it's shrieking with power. And we see, that's pretty good. There's a few little large chunky bits, but they're not that large. It's not going to be a jawbreaker or anything for anybody. So in it goes. Oops.
Jim, is this recipe on the internet?
It will be indeed. And that would be at, you could just Google Dubuque Schools, right? Kids in the kitchen. It'll all be there. That's an even better fit. That's the very top I was looking for. Thank goodness you guys are here. You're fitting into this thing just seamlessly. We want to get our raw garlic in there, so we're going to just quick double check. Let's make sure that everything is in there. Spices, salt, milk, raw egg, garlic. It's all in there. A little bit of salt. That's what we have not put in. And it's just a touch for now. And then we will season the dish later when we finish our sauce. If someone could open the top of that blender jar. That's it. This one has to be sort of primed. We prime the blender by turning it on. And then we always get our hand on the lid just as a protective measure to avoid the very disaster that we were discussing a moment ago. We can mix it. That's doing a rather nice job. Look good. Once again, we want to thank Yonkers at the Kennedy Mall for these fantastic appliances that they've equipped us with. It's made cooking in the kitchen a real pleasure.
Nothing is gonna make me remove my hand from this task.
What about $5?
No.
Excellent. Let's get that stuff out of there. We're going to put this stuff back in there, and then we're going to rock and roll. Bingo. Somebody want to take that and dump it all over the bread?
See if we can get this.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. Having a big hand helps.
There we go.
Pardon me?
What are you doing?
Let me get that plan here. Sorry.
Can you dump it on?
Excellent. Yeah, you can pour it right on the bread.
Oh, I thought you put
Pour it right on there. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Oh, that looks
Kind of like a savory French toast. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. So now, yeah, definitely, let's roll this down here. We want to get this incorporated with the meatballs. This meat gets added to this meat. We're going to do some incorporation here to really get that liquid up into the bread. Get in there and start mushing this up. Unless you're, well, we want to get you onto something. Maybe we'll have you on the sauce. How about that part? Like so, right? We want to make sure that it's evenly distributed. You want to get all of the different components in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Homogeneous.
like mix them together.
Mix them well together so that there's no big lumps of any particular substance sticking out. Excellent. Now, sanitize. Anybody who has been handling raw meat, eggs, any of that stuff, it's always good to wash your hands. And then to sanitize in the sanitizing bucket, which we've cleverly placed over here. And since I've had my hands in the raw eggs and the raw meat, a quick sanitizing is always a benefit. So, are we ready? We're going to put these in there. And like so, in they go. The excess fat is not really needed. Tomatoes, oh, nice and sloppy. Okay. Might behoove us just to use our hands because this is not going to really go in there that easily. Still pretty warm though, huh? So we're going to have to watch out. Let's not fill it too full. I'm a little worried about that. But we want to get the skins in there because they really add a nice... Oh, yeah. That's a great aroma. Okay. So, onward. Lid on, and you're going to be the master of ceremonies here. Back off. It's not your job this time. You're going to handle the sauce busting part, unless I told you that it was. Maybe I was thinking of the other part of the sauce. Well, here. Let's do this now. You're primed, and let's do puree first and see where that goes. Is that going to do anything for us? Yeah, it is. Outstanding! But it's really important we want to get those chilies really ground up. We don't want any big chunks of chipotles in there. They are going to simmer, so it's not going to be bad, but we want to make sure that's well done. And then we're going to take these tomatoes and buzz them up just like that. Excellent. Okay, this is looking good. No, this is excellent. Okay, so we want to get into production. We want to have at least 3 or 4 people involved in producing meat the balls that are about this. Sorry.
What is the process of reduction?
That's an excellent question because it sounds like making less of. You know, if you're reducing something, it sounds like it's going to be less. Well, there's going to be less volume, but there's going to be more flavor because we are indeed concentrating it. Where moisture is removing into the atmosphere, which also has the wonderful benefit of sending the aromas to distant parts of the house or building where you are. If you're in a restaurant, it sends the aromas up and out of your hood fan, that sends it out into the alley and down the street, and people are going, man, there's something really good cooking here. You go past a pizzeria that has a wood-fired oven, you can smell those pies smoking in there. You know, you go past the chicken place, and you go, man, you know, your salivary glands start going. You're going past the Middle Eastern falafel palace, you know, and they've got the hummus in full tilt, and they're frying off those falafel patties. Woo-hoo-hoo! Those are the things that draw you in, you know. Those are those aromas, the smells that are evocative, and start you thinking about food. And you get to do it like 2-3 times every day. You know, it's a real wonderful thing.
You know, Jim, I'm surprised you don't weigh 300 pounds.
I peaked at about 245 or 250, but I was eating foods that were not that beneficial overall, and I wasn't very active. Now I'm very active. Makes a difference. Now let's see what we got. Now let's hit liquefy and see if we see any chunks flopping around in there. That's looking more liquid to me. We got a chunk. Do you see that? It was right on. It's like watching the Great Red Storm on the surface of Jupiter. Is that the? You know, ever see that? You ever see time lapse film of that? Yeah, the big red spot. And you just saw it go by a second ago, and I think it would be a big hot red Chapotle spot. Really, is what it looked like to me.
We're getting an astronomy lesson in the kitchen. Who would have thunk it?
Okay, that's good. Let's see what we got. And if we need to, we can strain it out because the flavor is definitely going to be there. We have our half-cooked rice, which is an important ingredient to add to the meatball mixture. So we put about that much in there and get it all nicely mixed in. Excellent. And then that's going to absorb some of the liquids and add bulk to the meatballs. I need at least 2 people, maybe 3, forming balls that are approximately this size. Like a golf ball, maybe golf ball sized. That'll be nice. Roughly use that as your gauge. And just put it in there. You can kind of snug them up next to each other, and you'll have probably enough to fill this pan. If we have some extra, we'll put them in that pan. And then we're going to pour the hot sauce on them, we'll get them on the burner, and then we're going to have them. We can probably start clearing the deck, securing the situation. So we'll want to put refrigerated stuff in the refrigerator. We want to put things like this in the sink, maybe give them a pre-rinse. Part of cooking is cleaning up. We're going to do a whole show on that one of these days. We'll make a real big mess, and we'll spend half the show cleaning up. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to get so excited. It just smells really, really incredible. And the sauce is great because you can use it on, there's plenty of sauce. So yeah, it's great with the meatballs. You can use the meatballs many ways. You can use them as like an appetizer, you know, a little plate of them, you know, with a fork or a little cocktail fork, or even stick them on a toothpick if they'll hold together, depending on how well they've been put together in the first place. I have great faith you all done a fantastic job on this. Okay. We're going to cover this up. We have made a real mess today.
This is a great time to break for Manners Make Magic. Let's join Kenny, Marissa, and Brian.
We'll be back to sample our food.
Hi, this is Manners Make Magic. I'm Kenny.
I'm Marissa.
And I'm Brian.
And we're dining out today.
And one of the questions that we have is, what do you do when you discover that one of your glasses or utensils are dirty?
Let's pose this question to Manners the Magnificent. We call him by using the 3 magic words. Please?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You called? I've come to help you through the dining experience. Plus, the tips are good.
Manners, what do you do when you find that your glass or one of your utensils is dirty?
Excellent question. First of all, you would not announce it out loud. You would discreetly call over the waitstaff and quietly tell them about the situation, and they will take care of it. What you should not do is attempt to clean the spot yourself.
Manners, what happens if you find a foreign particle like a bug or a hair in your plate?
A bug? That's extra protein. It's free. Kidding. Same protocol as before. Discreetly call over the waitstaff and quietly discuss the matter with them, and they will take your plate away.
It's time for us to order, so please join us next time on Manners Make Magic.
How do you like your handiwork? How'd they turn out for you?
It's exquisite.
It's good? You want a little more sauce?
Really, really good.
More sauce, more flavor? The thing is, the vehicle fits that one a little more. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, I went a little bit crazy there. More sauce. Sauce good. Oh, it's fine. We can just pour it. It's all good. Thank you. That's very. We're all good there. I think. This can go here like this.
Oh, I think I should. And that was our show featuring Jim. Help me out on this one.
Ooh, buffalo meatballs with spicy chipotle sauce, or as it's called regionally where it comes from, something like albóndigas con salsa chipotle quemado.
I just call it good. Thanks for watching Kids in the Kitchen. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Megan.
I'm Brandon. I'm Austin. Go to Google, to Dubuque Schools, and click on Kids in the Kitchen for the recipe.
And I'm Jim Terry. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.